Hello everyone, this is Eleanor3567. We're finally back with an episode of Flower Summer, and yes, I did fix it. I told you I would. A cloud shaped like a fairy tale castle floats above the distant trees. The sky is a bright clear blue, and a large fluffy cloud stands out in sharp relief against the ridgeline of the forest. As I try to distract myself from the heat, I realize I've had exactly the same thought before. I gaze at my Amate partner as she takes a break from her intensive training to grab her flask, which is filled with energy drink. Soaked in sweat from dancing nonstop in this intense heat. Chidori continues her practice of Princess Aurora's final scene in the ballet's second act, where she awakens from her slumber and begins to dance. Be a good photo of that. The act's finale, Le Revel d'Aurore. The soft tempo of music calls for a dance of real stillness and clarity of movement. It seems that producing clearly defined bursts of intensity is harder than dancing at a sustained clip. At least that's what I was told by my eldest sister. She usually dances with such a cool, unfazed expression, but now the sweat is pooling in Chidori's cleavage. While the other lead dancer, whose sweat has nowhere to pool, simply slumps down on the floor, gasping for breath. Is your ankle okay now?
平気よ。ただ少し休んでいたから体力が落ちてるのかも。
Yes, it's fine. I think I'm just a bit weak after not exercising for a while. The character that the Prez is playing, Princess Florina, has a lot of movements that are more comical. It makes sense that it would be tough getting back into it after a break.
高崎さんはすごいわね。集中がずっと切れていない。脇もずっと落ちないで続けているわ。
Takasaki-san really is amazing. Her concentration never lapses and she can keep going without ever closing her arms.
脇が落ちてるか。初めは何言ってるんだって思ったよ。
When I first heard that phrase, closing her arms, I had no idea what on earth it meant. She blinks at me, then after a moment of hesitation, smiles understandingly.
回る演技の時は脇を開けていないと上手に回れないから、腕が下がると講師の肩から脇が落ちてるわよってよく注意されたわ。
When you're performing pirouettes, unless you hold your arms open properly, you can't spin very well. Whenever I let my arms drop, my teacher would yell at me about closing my arms. I mumble something about it being a very specific turn of phrase. Then reflecting that it's about time to continue the checkup, I look across at the students due to dance next.
でも意外だったわ。
No, I was quite surprised.
何が？
About what?
振り付けのことよ。まさか引き受けるなんて思ってなかった。どんな心境の変化があったの？
I never thought you'd take on the role of choreographer. What prompted the change of heart? I grimace as I think back on the exchange in the baths a few days prior. I'm embarrassed of myself for being so open and honest about my feelings.
義理だよ、義理。
I felt it was my duty, that's all. I take a sip of my drink.
そう。八重垣さんって優しいものね。
I see. You're a really kind person, Yagaki-san.
いいから水分取っておけよ。
Shut up and have a drink. I hand her my flask and urge her to rehydrate, then I order Chidori still going to change with someone else so she doesn't overwork herself.
了解。
Okay. The flame of the momentum flickers and dims as she returns to her normal self, but it's not like it's been extinguished completely. The embers still smolder somewhere in there.
お疲れ様。さっきの演技、すごく綺麗だったわ。
Good work. Your dancing just now was really beautiful. I hand Chidori my flash. She gulps the liquid inside down like it's the most delicious thing she's ever tasted, then beguilingly swipes her index finger across her lips.
ありがとう。あなたのピケターンも良かったわ。軸がぶれないところが素晴らしいわね。
Thanks, your PK turn was good too. You maintain a wonderfully stable axis.
そう？ありがとう。
Really? Thank you. She's still as rigid as ever when it comes to ballet, but it seems like she's at least learning how to take an interest in other people. Perhaps it's a consequence of having gone through the Hookman incident, but I think it's more the fact that she opened up to me about the scars she bears from that affair with her former underclassman.
ま、話してくれたことで少しは心の重荷が軽くなっていればいいんだがね。
Well, it'd be nice to talking it over with me lighten the load a little. I know it's not as simple as that, but I can't help but slip into that mode of thinking. I instruct the next student to dance as she would in the real performance.
八重垣さん、ここはどうしたら。
Higaki-san, what should I do here? He's playing a male part.
技よりもそこは男性役とともにオーロラ姫の結婚を祝福する場面だから、男性役がいる形でマイムで表現してくれ。
Right. Since this is a scene where you're celebrating Princess Aurora's marriage together, express in mime as though the male part. She nods and shows me the flair of expression she'll bring to the dance. It's not bad, and I give her the okay.
しっかり監督をやっていますな。
You're really taking this director job seriously. Someone snatches what little remains in my flask.
こっちにもくださいですよ。
Give me a bit of that too. It's the Sasaki twins who are playing Puss in Boots and the White Cat.
やりたくないことは徹底的に抗うがね。一度引き受けたからには適当はできないさ。
I might resist doing anything I don't want to do to the bitter end, but once I've taken a job, I'm not going to half-ass it.
指示も的確だし、意外と監督役合ってるよね。
Your instructions are really precise. Being director fits you surprisingly well.
売りつけ指導だよ。でも高みからバンバン人に命令できるこの立場は天職かもな。
I'm the choreographer, but you're right. Handing down orders to people from on high might as well be my calling. Because this is how I roll. The Sasaki smiled along with me, although I wasn't really kidding.
でもマイムか。私やスオちゃんは踊りよりも表現の方が多くなるよね。
But mime? Huh. Sochan and I may end up gesturing more than we actually dance.
おう、さすがに用語を覚えてきているんだな。
Oh, you're starting to remember the terminology.
それはそうだよ。
I sure am. She puffs out her flat chest. Her sister continues to watch the other girls practice closely.
バレエはセリフがないですからね。セリフの代わりに表現する仕草をマイムという。ですよね。
Since ballet doesn't feature any narration, use gestures, mime to tell a story instead, right? I tell her she's exactly right, and she grins. I go on to say that this applies in the third act, especially at the wedding of Princess Aurora and Prince Desire. Really? That's what his name is? That's the prince's name? Huh.
パドゥカラクテールではおとぎ話の仲間たちが祝うために歌い踊る。お前らの長靴を履いた猫と白猫、それに
The happy couple's fairy tale friends sing and dance in celebration during the Pasti caricature. You two, as Puss in Boots and the White Cat, have a lot of mime to perform.
赤ずきん役の白羽はマイムが多い。あいつはバスケットを振りながら踊るしな。 狼役とのやりとりのマイムをどうしようか考え中だぜ。
Along with Shirahane as a Little Red Riding Hood who was swing her basket around and stuff like that, I'm still thinking about how we'll mind the interactions between her and the Grey Wolf. I rack my brains for a cute dance that'll bring the meek Shirahane out of her shell and suddenly find my lips curling into a smile. Uh-oh.
まさに狼の笑みですね。
Oh, that's a very looping smile right there.
本性は猫なのに犬科とはこれいかにって感じだよね。
You know, you're really more of a cat type. She laughs as she kneels down on the floor, her legs splayed outwards.
バスキア教諭の誕生日からこっち熱も入ってきたしな。
They've really been trying hard since Sister Basquet's birthday party. From the day it was announced that I would be taking over the choreography, we moved into full-on practices for the show. As one of Koski's 3 ballets, The Sleeping Beauty has been performed about as many times as there are stars in the sky. Together, Sister Basquet and I have picked scenes from the various performances that have featured the fewest male parts and will give everyone their moment in the spotlight. First up was Act 2, Scene 2, Le Chateau de la Belle au Bois de Mont, and Princess Aurora's Awakening. Then came some selected parts in the procession of the fairy tales from Act 3, Does Not They Desire et d'Avoir. Hope I'm not butchering these too badly. And lastly, the final highlight of the performance, the Variation d'Aurore, which would serve as our finale. We're copying the basic dances, but the main job of the choreographer is to adjust them slightly, bearing in mind the skill of each individual performer. First, I'm having everyone perform the basic dance for me so I can get a handle on their abilities. Then I have to come up with a choreography that fits both the story and aesthetics. It's pretty tough.
よし、それじゃ次のダイヤモンドの制約踊ってくれ。
Alright, next up is the Diamond Fairy. I called the next girl as I scrolled down my notes alongside any changes for the Sapphire Fairy.
おい、女の子座りはやめた方がいいぞ。委員長を見習え。
Hey, you should stop sitting with your legs to the side like that. Take a leaf from the president's book. I warn her.
なんで？体育座りだと女の子の大切な部分が見えちゃうよ。
Why though? If you sit like that, people can see your bits, you know. The prez hurriedly wraps her arms under her thighs to cover up. She glares at us, her cheeks red, but doesn't change position.
いや、なんでって言われてもな。
Well, because... I hate to do it, but... I decided to avenge the prez.
そりゃ、いちご先生のスカートから覗くおみ足を覗きたいんだよ。
Because I want to get a peek up your skirt, your thighs, Ichigo. What?
綺麗な足してるもんな。見習いたいくらいだぜ。
You have such nice legs. I want to watch and learn from you. I expect her to get all embarrassed and clam up. However,
足が綺麗だなんて、やだな、もう嬉しいじゃんか。
hey, oh me, oh my! I'm so happy that you think I have nice legs. She reacts modestly, slapping me on the shoulder and prattling like a gossipy middle-aged woman. It backfired on us.
褒めても何も出ないよ。
I'll get you nowhere, you know. Here! I suddenly find her shoving a candy at me, and bowled over by her intensity, I force a smile back at her.
姉は褒められ慣れてないですからね。
My sister isn't used to being complimented. The younger twin whispers to me, I find myself unable to tell her sister to try to truth that in ballet class you learn how kneeling like that negatively impacts the shape of your legs. I knew there was an actual reason that wasn't in that checklist.
ダイヤモンドの制約お疲れ。あとは
Good work, Diamond Fairy. Next up is... Find out in the next episode. I hope you had fun, and I'll see you on the next one. See you then.